Okay. So on this two-way table, we are comparing two variables. The variables are movies and gender. Okay. So you have people and you have movies. So people come in two ways, male and female. And the movies also come in two ways, drama or comedy. Okay, so here I am going to do movies, and here I am going to do gender. So gender comes male and female, and then you're going to have totals, and then here you're going to have drama, you're going to have comedy, and I'm going to have totals, okay? Now, what does the question want? The relative frequency table shows the data collected from the survey, okay? Determine whether gender is independent, okay? So once I see this word, I have to remember I am going to do the totals. So total of row 1 times total of column 1. Total of row 2 times total of column 1. Okay? Here I am going to do total of row 1 times total of column 2. Total of row 2 times total of column 2. Now let's put our numbers. So our values are total of row 1, 37.5. So I'm going to write that 37.5%, 37.1%. Okay, then total of column 2, total of column 1, this number here, I'm going to write it here, times 59.4%, and here 59.4%. Okay, then we want total of column 2. Let's use purple. Total of column 2, which is this one here, which will be times 40.6% times 40.6%. Then now we want total of row 2. Let's use this. Total of row 2, which is this rakam here. We're going to use 62.5%. And I'm going to also put it here, 62.5%. Okay. Now, we need a color. Let's use light blue. Okay. So when I darb these two numbers, I should get 22.3%, and then I should get 15.2%. Okay. Then here I got 37.1%, and then here I got 25.4%. Then when I add my blue numbers, here I got 37.5%. On this row, I got, this would be 62.5%. And then when I add them vertically, I got 100%. Now let me add this column, 22.3 plus 37.1. That gave me 495%. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. 5 plus 5 is 10. I carry 1. And then 2 plus 2 is 4. So 40.6%. Now, for me to know whether my variables are independent, I need to check at my joint frequencies. So who are my joint frequencies? So my joint frequency is these blue numbers. Okay, here. Those are my joint frequencies. Okay, all right. Actually, I should have just, okay, that's fine. And I need to compare with these values over here. Okay, and what do I notice? The values on my second table are not the same as my joint frequency values on my first table. They are not the same. So I'm just going to say the joint frequencies are not the same. So the joint frequencies are not the same. So my variables are not independent. Okay? So the variables, whether they're yours or not, is not important. So the variables are not independent. Okay? All right, let's continue. We are graphing quadratic functions. Okay? And what do they want? They want us to find the average rate of change. That's telling us to find slope. And because these are quadratic graphs, they are not going to have the same slope all the time. Because remember, your graph keeps changing. Your graph is a parabola. So it goes down here and then it goes up. All these phases have different slopes. So the question has told you between -4 and 4, what is the slope? That's what it's asking you. Okay? All right. So you're gonna divide your, okay, and then you're gonna label that A, you're gonna label that B. Here you're gonna do f of A, and here you're gonna do f of B. Okay, so this is A squared minus 10A plus 5. Here will be B squared minus 10B plus 5. You're going to replace these values in the equation. Okay, so you're going to, here, f of -4 is -4 squared minus 10 -4 plus 5. Here you're going to have f of 4 is 4 squared minus 10 times 4 plus 5. Make sure when you're replacing, you use brackets. Lazim, okay? All right. -4 squared gives you 16. -10 times -4 gives you +40 plus 5. That gives you 56 plus 5. And f of A is 61. So this is an important value. This is not your answer. This is a value you need, okay? So you repeat the same here. So this is 16, this is -40 plus 5, and that should give you 19. But negative, okay? That should give you -19 because this should give you 34 negative and then plus 5. or 24. Yes, because you're borrowing. Okay. And then gives you negative 19. So f of b, we get that. All right. Now you want to find average rate of change. So you write here, average rate of change equals to FB minus FA over B minus A. So this is Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. That's how you're looking at it that way. So FB is negative 19 minus 61 over 4 minus negative 4. That should give you negative 80 over 8, and that should give you negative 10. And this is your answer. Okay, I'll change the color. Okay, same thing here, just separate. So you know you have to do 3 steps. Okay, label A, B, find f of A, and find f of B. Okay, so that will be 2 negative 3 squared plus 4 negative 3 minus 6. Here it will be 2 multiply 3 squared plus 4 multiply 3 minus 6. This gives you 18 because this is 9 and 2 times 9 is 18. This gives you negative 12 minus 6. And then when you solve, this should give you negative, this should give you 6 minus 6, and that gives you 0. So f of A is 0. All right, so you're going to do here f of B. This should give you 18. This should give you 12. And that should give you negative 6. This and this should give you 30. And 30 minus 6 is 24. So f of B is 24. Okay, so then you do average rate of change. Average rate of change equals to, actually, if you want to write it correctly, average rate of change like that. It doesn't matter. So, kanun f of B minus f of A, B minus A. F of B, 24 minus 0, 3 minus negative 3. 24 over 6, which gives you 4. And that's your answer. Okay. So that's how I divide my work. Okay. So AB. AB. F of A will be 3 negative 5 squared minus 3 times 5 plus 1. And then f of B will be 3 times 5 squared minus 3 times 5 plus 1. This gives us 25 times 3. 25 times 3 is 75. Okay. And this will give me negative 15 plus 1. Okay. Y negative. Okay, yes, this should not be negative. This should be positive because your A is Your A is -5. So make sure when you're solving, you keep checking your work. -3 times -5 plus 1. So that becomes +15. Okay, so 75 plus 15 is 90. And 90 plus 1 is 91. Okay, very important number. Okay, and I do this one for f of b. 75 minus 15 plus 1. 75 minus 15 is 60 minus 1, which equals to 59. Then I do f of b minus f of a over b minus a. F of b is 59 minus 91 over 5 minus -5. 59 minus 91 gives us -32. Then you divide by 10 and you get -3 and 2/10. Okay? So here you do f of a, which is 4 -2 plus -2 plus 3. Here you do f of b, which is 4 times 2 squared plus 2 plus 3. This gives you -8 minus 2 plus 3. Okay. No, this is squared. Okay, so that will give you 4 and then 16. So +4 times 4, that will give you 16. Okay. All right, and then you get here 14 plus 3, which gives you 17. Very important number. Okay. All right, here's the same thing. 16 plus 2 plus 3. Okay, and that will give you 18 plus 3, which should be something like 21. Okay, 21. All right. So when you do average rate of change, f of b minus fa divide b minus a. F of b is 21 minus 17 over 2 minus -2. 21 minus 17 is 4, and 4 divide 4 is 1. And you box your answer. Okay. This is A, this is B. Okay. What do we want? F of A is 2 -3 squared minus 11. Then f of B will be 2 times 3 squared minus 11. This is 9. So that's 18 minus 11, which is 7. This is 9. 18 minus 11, which is also 7. Okay, so now we do FB minus FA over B minus A. FB is 7 minus 7 over 3 minus -3. 0 over 6, which is 0. A number divided by 0 is 0. FA. Our A is -4. Our B is 4. -2, 4 squared plus 8, that 4 plus 7. F of B, -2, 4 squared plus 8 plus 7. This is 16 minus 16 times -2. That gives you -32 plus 32 plus 7. This is 0. So that is 7. Okay. Okay. I disagree. A is -4 and not 4. Okay. So this is 16. 16 times -2, -32. 8 times -4 is also -32. And then when I put this, it becomes -64 plus 7. And -64 plus 7, that will give me -57. Okay. All right. So let's do this one. 16 times -2, -32. +8 times 4, +32. These are inverses, so it becomes 0. And then I am adding 7. So that should be 7. F of B is 7. All right. Now let's do rate of change. F of B minus F of A over B minus A. Negative, not negative, 7 minus -57 over 4 minus -4. So that should give you 64 over 8, which gives us 8. Okay. Now we have table. This is very easy. You've been given your interval. So this is A, this is B. A, B. F of B, F of A. Okay. F of B, F of B minus F of A, B minus A. F of B, 12 minus 0 over 3 minus -3. That gives you 12 over 6, which should give you 2. And you box your answer. This is A, this is B, this is F of A, this is F of B. Because I know this is my A and this is my B. So I will do here F of B minus F of A equal over B minus A equals -27 minus -27. And then 4 minus -4. This becomes plus. These are inverses, so that is 0 over 8. So this should be 0. Okay. Okay, so this is the A, this is B, this is F of B, this is F of A. A, B, F of B, F of A. FB minus A over B minus A. This is your A, this is your B. This is your A, this is your B. F of B, 9. minus negative 3 over 2 minus negative 2. 9 plus 3 should be 12. And that should be 4, and that should be 3. Okay? Same thing here, f of b minus f of a over b minus a, 1 minus negative 39 over 5 minus negative 5, 40 over 10. That should give us 4. Okay? Because this becomes plus, and this becomes plus. Same thing here. That becomes plus, that becomes plus. Okay. A, B, F of A, F of B. A, B, F of B, F of A. F of B minus F of A, because the question wants that, average rate of change. So B minus A. 27 minus 27 over 3 minus negative 3. 0 over 6, that is 0. Okay? F of B minus F of A, B minus A, negative 4 minus 12 over 2 subtract negative 2. Negative 16 over 4, that should give us negative 4. Okay? Now we want to solve by graphing. Okay? We've been given a graph to determine solutions. Your graph is the blue line. That's the graph. The black lines are called coordinate plane. Remember to always know this is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. The question can come, which quadrant are your solutions in? So you need to know how to label you need to remember quadrants, okay? Also, in the back of your brain, because you never know how the question is going to be asked. Anyway, your graph is not touching the x-axis. No real solutions. This graph has solutions, but they are not real. Okay? You will discover this because you did that in some lesson in module 1. So no real solutions. Why? Because the graph is not touching the x-axis. Okay? All right. This graph has 2 solutions. Okay? So 2 real solutions. And the solutions are who? Negative 2, 0, and 5, 0. Because that's where your graph is touching the x-axis at. Okay? Sometimes the book will just write it negative 2 and 5. So you need to see. Both of these are answers to your question. It can be written that way. It can be written that way. Okay. This one has one real solution. And the solution is here. So this is -1. I'm going to the left of 0. You have to remember that also. I'm going to the left of 0, -2, -3, -4. If the question asks you which quadrant your solution is in, this is not in any quadrant. It is on the x-axis. Okay, so it is not in any quadrant. So that also you have to know. This one, also those two are not in any quadrant. They are on the x-axis. Okay. Actually, your solutions here will not be on any quadrant because your solutions must be on the x-axis. Okay. All right. So one real solution, and the solution is -40 or -4. Now, you have to draw this. But this is in multiple choice. Because it is in multiple choice, you have to figure out strategies how to get your answer quickly. Because you'll be choosing from a graph. You're not drawing a graph. The graph will be given to you and you have to draw. Step 1, find axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry. Actually, that's not step 1. Step 1 is knowing A, B, and C. A is 1, B is -10, C is 21. Then you do axis of symmetry. So this will be -b over 2a, which will be -10 over 2 times 1. And that should give you 5. So look for the graph whose axis of symmetry is at 5. So this is x, this is y, this is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the axis of symmetry should be here. That's the graph you choose. And also, your A is positive, so your graph will be a U. So, lazim, you choose the graph that is a U. Okay? Your y-intercept is 21. Okay? So, y-intercept is equals to 21. So, you need to choose a graph that touches 21 on the y-axis. Okay? All right. So, that is 0, 21. Why did I just write 21? 0, 21, because it's a point. All right, after that, what do we do? Vertex. Let's do vertex. Actually, let's do reflection. Reflection of y-intercept. Okay, so that has a canon. Reflection of y-intercept is 2 times the axis, and here is the y-intercept. So y-intercept is 21, axis is 5. So you're going to do 2 times 5, which should give you 10. So 10, 21. Okay? Then let's do vertex. Vertex. Vertex is axis, and axis in equation. Axis in equation. Axis is 5. Then axis in equation will be 5 squared minus 10, 5 plus 21, which will be 5, 25 minus 50 plus 21, When you put these three values in the calculator, that should give you -4. So this is 5, -4. Okay, so let me change my color. 5, -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that is 5, -4, and that's your vertex. Okay, all right, so because I have 21, I cannot go by ones, so I'm going to go by threes. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. -3, -6, -9, -12, -15, -18, -21, -24, and so on. All right, so I want 0.21 here. And then I want 10.21 here. How do I know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I count another 5 from here and put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's how you plot. After you do that, choose the graph that looks like that. Those are the important points that you need to have. If it matches these 3 points together with the axis of symmetry, so it matches all the 4 parts, then that's the graph you choose. Should be something like that. Now, if your graph does not match your sketch, oh, you did something wrong. You need to go back here and see what you did. You calculated wrongly. Okay, let's move on. So this graph will be a U because my A is positive. My A is positive, my graph will be a U. My A is 4, my B is 4, my C is 1. Axis, y-intercept, reflection, vertex. Okay, axis will be -b over 2a, -4 over 2 times 4, which should be positive, -1/2, sorry, not positive, -1/2. Okay, y-intercept is 0, 1. Reflection will be axis and y-intercept. But axis times 2, not just axis, axis times 2. Axis times 2 will be -1/2 times 2, which will give you -1. Okay? And y-intercept is already 1, so this is -1, 1. Vertex will be axis and axis in equation. Okay? Axis is -1/2, and then axis in equation, if you put here -1/2 squared plus 4 times 1/2 plus 1, that should give you -2. So this should be -2. Okay? Now, what do you notice? I have fractions. So I'm going to go by fractions on my x-axis. The vertex determines what you go by, and the y-intercept, the axis of symmetry determines what you go by on the x-axis, And the y-intercept determines your scale on the y-axis. So this will be half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and then 5. Remember to label X. Remember to label your quadrants. Always remember so that this information stays in your brain. Negative a half, negative 1, negative 1.5, negative 2, negative 2.5, negative 3, negative 3.5, negative 4, negative 4.5, negative 5. And then you draw your graph. Your axis of symmetry will be here, or negative half, like that. Your y-intercept to be 0, 1 will be here. Y-intercept. Reflection will be, because the y-intercept is one box from the axis, reflection should also be one box from the axis. Reflection. Vertex is negative a half time and 2. So this is negative, this is 1, this is negative 2. So here. So there are your 3 points together with the axis of symmetry. So your graph should be something like that. Okay? So you look for those 4 points. 4 parts. Sorry, 4 parts. Okay? Only because you're not drawing the graph. Oh, you're supposed to write your solutions. Because the question said solve. So here your solution is, okay, let me change the color. Here your solution is over here and here. Okay? Because the question said solve. So that means you have to find solution. Okay. So there's no exact number. So you have to say my solution are between my 2 solutions. So you have 2 solutions here. Between. So the first one is between negative half and negative 1. So you start with the smallest one, between negative 1 and negative half. Between negative 1 and negative half. And you need to do the other one. Negative half and 0. Negative half and 0. Okay? Because it's not on a normal number. And here? Okay. Here, you should have answers. So, you either do jadwal or you should do, okay, let's do jadwal. But you can use the quadratic formula also. Why not? It's in multiple choice. And you just want answers, okay? You want your solutions. So me, I did 1, 2, 3. Why I didn't use negative numbers? Already I can see my graph is on the positive side. Why should I do negative numbers? So 5, 6, 7. So I want to find, so this will be 1 minus 10 plus 21. This should be 4 minus 20 plus 21. This should be 9 minus 30 plus 21. This should be 16 minus 40 plus 21. I notice there's a pattern. So 25 minus 50 plus 21. 36 minus 60 plus 21. 49 minus 70 plus 21. Okay. So here, what did I get? Here I got 12. Here I got 5. Here I got 0. Here I got -3. Here is one of my answers because my y is 0. So here is 4. Here is -3. My graph is changing over here. So my answer should come after the last change. There you go. That's how I know. Okay? All right. So here are my solutions. 3 and 7. Yes. So my solutions are 3, 0, and 7, 0. Or 3 and 7. Okay? All right. Don't forget to find your solutions. It's not just picking the graph, it is also finding the solutions. Okay. So when I did this, I found my axis of symmetry. To be negative b over 2a, which gives me -1 over 2 times 1, which gave me -1/2. Okay. Then my y-intercept was 0, -6. Then my reflection will be 2 times this, which will be -1. And my y-intercept, which will be -6. So -1, -6. Then I do my vertex. My vertex is the axis, which is -1/2. And when I put -1/2 back into the equation, I got -6 and 25/100. Okay? And then I want to do quadratic formula. So again, my solutions. -b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So -b, a is 1, b is 1, c is -6. -b, -1, plus or minus, bracket 1 squared, bracket -4 times a times -6 over 2 times 1. So I have -1 plus or minus 1 plus 24 over 2. So then I have -1 plus the square root of 25 over 2. And here, -1 minus the square root of 25 over 2. Square root of 25 is 5. -1 plus 5 is 4 over 2. 1 minus 5 is -6 over 2. So this is 2 and this is 3. So your solutions are 2 and 3. So solutions are, write it here. Solutions are 2 and 3, or 2, 0 and 3, 0. Okay, after you find your solutions, that means your graph No, this will be -3, not 3, -3. 2 and okay, so -3 and 2. -3 and 2. Always write the smaller value first. Okay, so you look for a graph that is here with a dot here and a dot here. Okay. Okay, we have negative half. So go by half. 0.5, negative, -1, -1.5, -2, -2.5, -3, so forth, -3.5, 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, and so on. Make sure your graph is, oh, this one will already be drawn for you. So, but even though you should be able to sketch your own graph. All right, so axis of symmetry will be here. Why am I drawing a solid line? Should be a broken line. Okay, because it's -half, then you have a solution at -3, 0, and 2, 0. Then your y-intercept is at -6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, at -6. There, and your vertex is where -1/2 and -6.25, somewhere here, somewhere below the y-intercept. Okay, like that. So your graph should look like that, and it should open upwards. So your graph should open upwards. So you choose the graphs that are opening upwards. If all of them are opening upwards, then you eliminate with axis of symmetry. The one with the correct axis of symmetry, if there's 2 or 3, then you eliminate with the y-intercept. That's how you start. Start by up, then you look at the axis of symmetry, you eliminate the graphs using that process. After that, you eliminate with the y-intercept. Then you use the reflection. If you have 2 graphs with this same information, now you need to look at your solution. So there will be only one graph that has this part. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 5 and 6. So then you connect your dots, your points. Like that. Okay. And that will be your graph. Okay. So my graph will be going like this because my A is positive. My A is 1, my B is 2, my C is -3. Okay. My axis of symmetry, when I solved it, I got -1. My y-intercept, I got 0, -3. My reflection, I got -2, 3. Remember, this is axis and this is y-intercept. Then my vertex, I got -1. This is axis times 2, not just axis. Axis times 2. Reflection is axis times 2. Vertex will give you axis and axis in the equation. Axis was -1. If I put -1 here, I should get -5. Was it -4? -4, because this is 1 This is -2. That should give me -1, and -1 and -3, that gives me -4. -1 minus -3, that gives me -4. Okay. All right. Then I did jadwal over here. I did not use Kanun. So I did X, Y, and then I did -4. Why did I do jadwals? My numbers were small. So I did jadwal over there. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So x squared plus 2 times x minus 3. So that is 16 plus 8 minus 3. That is 9 plus 6 minus 3. That is 4 plus 4 minus 3. That is 1 minus 2. This should be minus 4. This should be minus 6. This should be minus 8. Okay. Minus 3. This should be 0 plus 0 minus 3. This should be 1 plus 2 minus 3. This should be 4 plus 4 minus 3. This should be 9 plus 6 minus 3. And this should be 16 plus 8 minus 3. Okay. 16 minus 8 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Here is my solution. Okay. 4 minus 4 is 0. 0 minus 3 is -3. 1 minus 2 is -1. -1 minus 3 is -4. 0 minus 3 is -3. 3 minus 3 is 0. Here is my other solution. Okay. All right. Here is where my graph is changing. My graph will change over here to become a U around here. Okay. And this should be my vertex, which matches here. See? All right. Then what do I want? 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 minus 3 is 5. 15 minus 3 is 12. And so on. Then you draw your graph, your axis of symmetry. That's what you start by. You're checking, you're eliminating your graph. Start with your axis of symmetry. -1, -4. -1, -4. There is your axis of symmetry. So, -1. Then you put your vertex. Okay. Your y-intercept. Okay. Your reflection. Okay. Your solution. Your first solution was -3, 0. Your other solution was 1, 0. Okay, so there, your graph should look like that. If your graph is not looking like this, okay, that's what you do. So rewrite your solutions. So you'll be choosing either graph or you'll be choosing solutions. So -3, 0, and 1, 0. Solution. Okay. Solutions. Okay, let's move on. Okay. This graph should open downwards. Your graph should open downwards. Why? Because your A is negative. Okay. Then let's do axis of symmetry. So your A is -1, your B is -6, and your C is -9. So negative B over 2A. -6, 2 over -1, -3. Okay. Y-intercept 0, -9. Reflection -3 times 2, -9. So -6, -9. Remember, axis times 2 gives you the x of the reflection. Let's do vertex. Vertex will be axis and axis in equation. Okay. Axis is already -3. -3 squared minus 6 with -3 minus 9. So -3 here. This is 9, so that will be -9 plus 18 minus 9. That should be 0 because this gives you 9 and -9 plus 9 is 0. So vertex is -3, 0. Okay. Okay. So vertex will be here. And that should be your solution. When the vertex is on the x-axis, that is your solution. -3, 0. There you go. Colors. I don't even need to. So I look for the graph that is going down. What's my y-intercept? 0, -9. My axis of symmetry is already over here. Okay. My reflection should be 3 boxes. 1, 2, 3, somewhere here. -6, -9. Okay. And there is my graph. And this is x, and this is y. And this is 0. Okay? So, and this is my solution, my vertex, all that. Vertex, it's also my solution. Okay? There you go. So -3, 0. This is the 0, -9. This one is -6, -9. So you should also know how to read your points. You have to know how to read your points. You have to know how to plot your points. If you don't know how to do that, I don't know what you're going to do in the exam. Those are very important parts, okay? I okay. I think so. My A is 1, my B is -6, my C is 5. My graph will be going this way. Okay. My axis was 3. My y-intercept is 0, 5. My reflection is 6, 5. My vertex is 3. 3 squared is 9 minus 18 plus 5. -9 plus 5 will be -4. Okay. Then I used I plotted. Did I plot? Okay, let's plot. My axis is at 3. X, Y. But you can do jadwal. You can do quadratic formula. Doesn't matter. My axis is at 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's where my axis is. My y-intercept is 0, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 boxes, 3 boxes. My reflection should be there. My vertex is 3, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then I draw some. I draw. I come and I go. Now, what do you notice? Let's change this. My point is here. It's not on a corner. Okay? What number is this? 1, and this is 2. And this is 3, and this is 4, and 5. So my first point is between 1 and 2. My second point is between 4 and 5. So you're going to say my solutions are between 1 and 2 and no, this one wants your solutions. No, 1 and 2 and 4 and 5. Okay. So that's your graph. Your graph should look like that. Now, you can do quadratic formula. -b plus or minus b squared bracket -4 ضرب a ضرب c. Don't forget your bracket. 2a. -b becomes +6. -6 plus or minus -6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 over 2 times 1. So that gives you 6 plus the square root of 36 minus 20 over 2. And this gives you 6 minus the square root of 36 plus minus 20 over 2. So if I put this in the calculator, I should get 6 plus square root 36 minus 20. I should get 5. Why I got 5? I got Kamil. Okay. 6. What is 6 minus 20? 36 minus 20 is 16, which is 4. Okay. Don't solve. Use quadratic formula and check your answer. Use quadratic formula and check your answer. This should give you B, because 36 minus 20 is 16. Square root of 16 is 4. 6 plus 4, 6 plus 4 divide 2 is 10 divide 2, which gives you 5. So let's do here. This should be square root of 16. 6 minus 4 is 2. And 2 divide 2 is 1. Okay? So your solutions are 1 and 5. Solutions are 1 and 5. So either you do quadratic formula or you do jadwal. Do not assume. Do jadwal so you plot your points correctly. Jadwal or quadratic formula. Okay? Otherwise, you're bound to make silly mistakes. Jadwal and quadratic formula. Okay. So your solutions are 1 and 5. And then you choose the graph. So this should be at 1 and this should be at 5. But my graph, yes, because you see, I'm not drawing on paper even. Okay? But your jadwal should give you a lot of points so that your graph is correct. All right, let's continue. So axis of symmetry, all that. So my A is 1, my B is 2, my C is 3, my graph is going up. And then my axis will be -1, my y-intercept will be 0, 3, my reflection will be -2, 3, my vertex will be -1, 2. Okay? Then I did quadratic formula. So I did -b plus or minus this b squared minus 4ac over, make sure you put this in bracket, over 2a. Okay? Then I plugged my numbers, -2 plus or minus -2 squared. No, 2 squared. And then 4 ضرب 2 ضرب 3 over 2 ضرب 1. So, what did I notice? My determinant is negative. So I have -2 plus or minus 4 minus, this is 8 times 3 minus 24. So, or what did I do? What is my A? 1. Where did I get 2 from? I don't know. So minus 12 over 2. So then I have -2 plus or minus square root of -8 over 2. And because this is negative, then I don't have a solution. No solution because my determinant is 0. No real solutions. I have solutions, but they're complex. So here I would just write no real solutions. So my graph will be up of my line, my x-axis. At the latter is my y-intercept. Okay, what's my axis? -1. Somewhere here. Okay. Where is my vertex? -1, 2. Somewhere here. My reflection is somewhere here. My graph is something like this. Okay? There you go. So this is the graph I will choose. And make sure it's not touching the x-axis. Okay? So here my axis was 1.5. My y-intercept was 0, -10. My reflection axis times 2 and y-intercept. So that's 3 and -10. And then my vertex was, what's my vertex? My axis and axis in equation. My axis was 1.5. And when I plugged that into the equation, I got -12.25. Okay, then I did jadwal. I don't know why. I should have just done quadratic equation. But then here, this is x, this is y. So -4. I got 16. Why I got 16? I shouldn't have got 16 because this is, oh yes, 16 minus 12 minus 10. That should give you 18. I don't have 18 on my graph. Okay. -3 will give me 9 plus 9 minus 10. That should give me 8. Okay, that I have on my graph. -2 will give me 4 plus 6 minus 10. That gave me 0. So one of my solutions. Okay. So then I did -1. That will be 1 plus 3 minus 10. 4 minus 10 is -6. 0. That will give me 0 plus 0 minus 10. That will be -10. My y-intercept. Okay, I'll do 1. That will be 1 minus 3 minus 10. That will give me -12. Okay. 2 will give me 4 minus 6 minus 10. 4 minus 6 is -2. Okay. Why do I have the same number? 1 minus 3 is -2. -2 minus 10 is -12. And then here, 2 squared is 4, minus 6 is -2, minus, okay. Do 3, that's 9, minus 9, minus 10, that should give me -10. Then we have 4, which is 16, minus 12, minus 10. That should, no, that's not true. Oh, that's true. 9 minus 9 is 0, 0 minus 10. Okay. 4 minus 10 is -6. Then we do 5. 25 minus 15 minus 10, which should be 0. There is my other solution. Okay, so then I plot my points. I'm going to go by half. So 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. Okay. So my first answer, okay, here will be 0.5, but negative, -1, -1.5, -2. So -2, 0, and the other one 5, 0. And my axis of symmetry is 1.5. My vertex is 1.5 and 12. I don't even have, no, I have to go by 2's on my graph. Okay. So if I go by 2's, I can do that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. -2, -4, -6, -8, negative what? -10, -12, -14, -16, -18, -20. Okay, now remember you are looking for the graph. So you want -12.25 here, somewhere here. It's going to be between -12 and -14. Okay? Then your reflection is 3, -10. 3, -10 here. It's 3 boxes, so it should be here. 3 boxes. Zero, -10. Okay. And there's your graph. Your graph is there. Okay. And you know you're correct because your A is positive, so your graph must be a U. How many of this do we have? Okay. Axis, -b over 2a, -8 over 2 times -1. Your graph will be going down because your A is negative. A is -1, B is -8, C is -16. This will be 8 taksim -2, which is -4. I agree. Then what do we have after axis? You have y-intercept, which is 0, -16. So my graph will go by 2's because I don't have 16 boxes, so I'll have to use a scale of 2. Then my reflection will be -8, -16. Okay. Then my vertex will be my axis, and axis in equation. Axis is how much? -4. Axis in equation is -4 squared minus 8, -4 minus 16. -16 plus 32 minus 16. And that gave me 0. So this is my solution. I don't even need to draw the graph. My vertex is my solution, so I have one solution at -4, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? X, Y. Okay, my axis of symmetry is at -4. Okay. -8, 16 should be, oh, I need to label this -2, -4, -8, -10, -12, -14, -16, -18, -20. I missed something. 2, 4, 6. Yes, see, that's how you check your work. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so -10, -9, -8 with 16, with -16. And then here, 0, -16. Okay, and then you connect your dots. Okay, and then your solution, which is also your vertex. Okay. All right. Use a quadratic equation to find two real numbers with a sum of 2. Sum of 2. And a product of -24. Two real numbers. Okay, so my first number is x. Okay, my second number, so I know that first number plus second number should give me 2. X plus second number equals to 2, so I subtract x on both sides. So second number is 2 minus x. Okay? Now I know that product, sum means to add, product means to add. So product of the first number times second number should equal to -24. First number is x, second number 2 minus x should equal to -24. Distributive property, 2x minus x squared minus 24. Now, because I want to solve, because the question told me to find the two real numbers, so that means solve. I need to make my equation equals to 0. So I'm going to take this to this side. Why? Because my x is negative. I don't want it to be negative. I want it to be positive. Okay? And I need my equation to equal to 0. Minus 2x plus x squared. minus 2x plus x squared. This becomes 0. X squared minus 2x minus 24. Okay? Then I use quadratic formula. That's what I did. But you should do axis of symmetry, all that. Are you choosing a graph? If you're choosing a graph, yes. So then axis of symmetry, my axis of symmetry was negative b over 2a, which gave me negative 2 over 2 times 1. Okay? And that gave me 2 over 2, which gave me 1. Then my y-intercept is 0, negative 24. Then my reflection, which is 2 times axis and y-intercept, so 2 times 1 and negative 24, which is 2 and negative 24. Then what else did I do? Vertex. So I did vertex. I'm going to do it over here. I don't want to lose space. So I did vertex. Vertex was how much? Axis and axis in equation. Axis was how much? 1. Axis in equation was 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 24. 1, 1 minus 2 minus 24. 26. So 1 minus 26, which will be negative 25. So this will be my vertex. Okay? So then I did quadratic formula. So negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So then I plugged in my numbers. So I got minus negative 2 plus or minus bracket negative 2 squared negative 4 that 1 that negative 24 over 2 1. So this is 2 plus or minus 4 plus 96 over 2. Okay, and that's square root of 100. So then I had equals to 2 plus or minus square root of 100 over 2. So this will be 2 plus 10 over 2, and this will be 2 minus 10 over 2. So 12 divided 2 is 6, and 2 minus 10 is negative 8, divide 2 is negative 4. So those are my solutions. My two real numbers are 6 and negative 4. The two real numbers are 6 and negative 4. And that's your answer. And then you choose your graph. Your graph should open this way up if it is a question for choosing graph. And then you pick your axis. Your axis should be at 1. This number here. This will be your y-intercept, something like that. Where's your... No, wait. So let's do a coordinate plane. This is x, this is y. Okay. All right, then your axis of symmetry is at 1. So this number here should be 1. Your answer should be at negative 4 and 6. Okay? Okay? Something like that. And then, so let's move this a little bit closer. It doesn't matter, let it stay there because it's a sketch. Anyway, your graph will be going up because your A is positive. Where is your y-intercept? 0, negative 24. So here, this number should be negative 24. Then you should have another one here at 2. So your graph should look like that. Okay? Something like that. That's how your graph should be. Oh, this, no. This should come down a little bit because you should be at negative 25 for the vertex. So your graph should come like this and then like that. Not there. Okay, like that. Okay? Solve each equations by graphing, find the exact roots. Okay, so I found my axis, negative b over 2a, and that gave me 2. And then I found my y-intercept, which is also 2. So I wrote it 0, 2. Then I found my reflection, which is 4, 2. Then I found my vertex, which was 2, negative 2. Remember, you're putting 2 back into the equation. Okay. Then I did my quadratic formula. Okay. And my numbers were, or my values were like that. This should be negative. A is 1, B is negative 4, C is 2 over 2A. So I got 4 plus minus 16 minus 8 over 2. Then I'm going to do it 2 times. 4 plus the square root of 8 over 2, and 4 minus the square root of 8 over 2. Okay? So I got here half, and I got here 3 and 4/10. So then I said my solutions are between 3 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Always start with the small one. On the number line, think of your number line. So you have 0, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3, and you have 4. 0.5 is here. 3.4 is here. So my solutions are between 0 and 1 and 3 and 4. Okay? All right. And your graph will be going up. And you look for these places on the graph: axis, y-intercept, reflection, and vertex. Okay. Let's do this one. So my A is 1, my B is 6, my C is 6. Okay. My axis, -3. My y-intercept, 6. My reflection, -6, 6. My vertex, -3, -3. By now, you should know Kanun. I don't have to repeat it again. We've done like 10 of them already. Okay? All right. Then I did my quadratic formula, -b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And my answers were -1.26 and -4.7. So then -1.26, so I draw my number line. All my numbers are on the left of 0. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. -4.7 will be here, and -1.26 will be here. So I will write my values, my solutions. My solutions are between -5 and -4 and -2 and -1. Okay? So when I'm choosing a graph, so this is my coordinate plane. My graph will open upwards because A is positive. Where is my vertex? -3, 3. So -3, -3. So -1, -2, -3. My vertex will be here, somewhere here. And my axis of symmetry will be there. So I'm sketching, and I'm using my sketch to select my answer. So then my reflection, my y-intercept, where is my y-intercept? +6, somewhere here. 6, okay? And my reflection will be somewhere here. So this will be -6, okay? Then I connect. So that's how my graph will be. My graph will be like that. This number here will be -3. Now, so here will be my graph. This number will be -5, -4. And this number here will be like, my graph picture will be like that. This will be -2, -1, because that's 0. So my solution will be here and here. Okay, here and here. Between these two numbers, -5, -4, -2, and -1. So that's how my graph will look. Okay. So I repeated the same process. Okay. My axis here was -2. My y-intercept here was 2. My reflection was -4, 2. And my vertex was -2, -2. And then I did -b plus or minus. I did quadratic formula. My A is 1, my B is 4, my C is 2, my graph will open upwards, and my solutions were negative 5/58 and negative 3.41. Okay, so I said my solutions are between negative 4 and 3 and negative 1, 0. Okay, I repeated the same. My axis is negative 2. My y-intercept is 0, 0 because I don't have C here. So C is 0, 0. My reflection is negative 4, 0. Then I did my vertex. My vertex is axis of symmetry, and plug it back in there. So negative 2 squared minus 4 negative 2. That should give you negative 4 plus 8. That should give you 4. So that is negative 2, 4. Okay. Then my solution, you can see, is my reflection and my y-intercept. As you can see over there on my work, the solution and the reflection, the y-intercept and the reflection are the solutions. Why? Because both of them have 0 on the y coordinate. Okay. So these are my solutions. Now I just did quadratic formula to confirm that my work is correct. Always have more than one way. And here you should get negative 4 plus or minus negative 4 squared, negative 4 times negative 1 times negative 4. No, C is 0. And the number times 0 is 0. So I cross that out. So 2 times negative 1. So then I got 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 over negative 2. So I have 4 plus 4 over negative 2 and 4 minus 4 over negative 2. So then I got negative 4 and I got 0. So there. So I was correct. My solutions are negative 4 and 0. Okay. So you can write, oh, okay. So if the exact root, so you here my roots. My roots are negative 4 and 0. Okay. All right. So this one, I did the same thing. I found my axis. I got 0. I find my y-intercept 0.36. I found my reflection. Crazy. 2 times axis. How did I get 0 for axis? Oh, b is 0. So negative b over 2a. I don't have b, so 0 over 2 times negative 1, give me 0. So reflection is also 0. This is very weird. How is this graph going to look? The graph is going to be looking like this. Okay. It's going to open downwards. Do I have my 4 values? I need my vertex. My vertex will be axis. So 0, 0. Zero squared plus 36. 0.36. This graph is very weird. How? Why are all these numbers the same? Very, very weird. Okay. That's the graph you choose. Okay, let me see my jadwal. Because that graph looks very weird. According to my calculations over here. XY. Negative x squared plus 36. Negative 6 will give me negative 36 plus 36, 0. Ah, got lucky. My first solution. See? Negative 5 will give me 11. Will give me negative 25 plus 36. Negative 4 will give me negative 16 plus 36. Give me 20. Negative 3 will give me 27 because it will give me negative 9 plus 36. Negative 2 will give me negative 4 plus 36, which is 32. So my graph is changing somewhere closer here. Then here, no, still going up. I mean, it's going, yes. So we are going up like this, almost changing. So negative 1 will give me negative 1 plus 36, which is 35. And then 0 will give me 0 plus 36, which is 36. And then 1. 1 will give me negative 1 plus 36, which is 35. So here is where my graph is changing. Okay. This is my y-intercept. It's my vertex. This is my reflection. That's very weird. Okay. Then 2 will give me, what is 2 going to give me? Negative 2 plus 36, which is 30. No, it's going to give me negative 4, which gives me 32. 3 will give me negative 9 plus 36, which is 27. Then 4 will give me negative 16 plus 36, which is 20. 5 will give me, so this is a trinomial, a perfect trinomial. Okay. I mean, not a perfect trinomial. This is a, sir, why not? Yeah, this is a perfect trinomial. I agree. So 5 will give me negative 25 plus 36, which will give me 11, and then 6 will give me negative 36 plus 36, which is 0. Okay. You can also do quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a, which will give you negative 0 plus or minus 0 squared minus 4 times negative 1 times 36 over 2 times negative 1. So you should end up with 0 minus 144 over negative 2. So, or 0 plus square root of 144 over negative 2. So this should give you negative 12 over negative 2, which gave you 6. And this should give you 12 over negative 2, which gave you negative 6. So those are your solutions. Your roots are negative 6 and 6. And then you choose the graph that opens downwards. Okay. And then this number here will be negative 6. And this number here will be 6. And this number here in the middle will be the y-axis. Okay? And this is your x-axis. So your y-axis is both the axis of symmetry. This is also your vertex. Vertex, axis, reflection. So yes, there is a graph that all the three will be there. Why? All the four y-intercept. The vertex, the axis of symmetry, the reflection, and the y-intercept are all at one point on this graph. Okay? All right. So now I am solving. I just did here quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Remember, this is in multiple choice, so you need to get your answer quickly and correctly. Okay? Six plus or minus 36 square root minus 16 over 2. Okay? Then it will be 6 plus or minus square root of 20 over 2. And then your two answers will be 6 minus square root of 20 over 2 and 6 plus square root of 20 over 2. And you should get here 0.763. And you should get here 5.23. When I have decimals, I always gonna draw my number line. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is here. And this one is here. Okay, so my solutions are, my roots are located. My roots are between 0 and 1 and 5 and 6. Please draw the number line. Draw the number line so you can see clearly and choose the correct. Don't just assume. Draw the number line so you can see. Okay? So even here, I did my quadratic formula and I got negative 0.697 and negative 4.30. So my number line, I start 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. 0.697 is here, negative 430 is here. My solutions, my roots are between negative 1 and 0. Remember, you start with the smallest, and negative 5 and negative 4. Okay? I should not start that way. Negative 5 and negative 4, negative 1 and 0. This point is bigger. This point is smaller. Okay? As in the root is smaller here. This is the smallest, and this is the biggest. Okay? And then you start with the smallest value. Between negative 5 and negative 4, between negative 1 and 0. Okay? I did quadratic formula here. I got negative 2.6 and 2.6. So then I drew my number line. Negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. 2.6 is here, and negative 2.6 is here. So then I said my roots are between negative 3 and 2 and 2 and 3. Negative 3 and negative 2. Okay. Okay, so I did my quadratic formula here, and I found my answer to be 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 over 2 over negative 2. And because this is negative 8, so this will be 4 plus or minus I square root of 8. And then my two answers were not real. So no real solutions. Okay. All right. So now we have complex numbers. Find the values of x and y. Okay. So divide your equation into two parts. You do the real on this side, you do the imaginary on this side. Okay. So 9 equals to 3x, 12i equals to 4yi. divide by 3, divide by 3, that goes away, 3 equals x. Box your answer. Divide by I goes away, 12 equals to 4y. Divide by 4, y is 3. Box your answer. Same thing here. I'm going to do the real here. I'm going to do the imaginary here. I'm going to write x plus 1 equals to 3, minus 1, x equals to 2. Box your answer. 2yi equals to negative 6i. Divide by 2i, divide by 2i. 2 and because I want y, so 2 has to go and I has to go. I and I go away, y equals to negative 3. Box your answer. Okay? Continue the same. So 2x plus 7 equals to negative 4. This is the real part. This is the imaginary part. 3 minus y in bracket equals to 6i. Divide I on both sides. That goes away. 3 minus y equals to 6. Minus 3, negative y equals to 3. Divide negative 1, y equals to negative 3. Box your answer. All right, minus 7, 2x equals to negative 11. Divide by 2, x is negative 11 over 2. Or you can simplify it. You can change it to decimal, negative 5.5. Okay. Divide your work. You have your real and your imaginary. 5 plus y equals to 9. 3x minus 7i equals to negative 3i. Divide by I, i's go. 3x minus 7 equals to negative 3 plus 7 plus 7. 3x equals to 4. Divide 3, x is 4/3. Box your answer. Okay. All right. Subtract 5, subtract 5. This goes away. Y equals to 4. That's your answer. Okay. 20. This is real. This is imaginary. 20 equals to 5x. Divide 5, divide 5. X is 4. And then negative 12i equals to 4yi. Divide I goes away. Negative 12 equals to 4y. Divide 4, 4. Y is negative 3. Okay. Same thing here. You do real, you do imaginary. X equals to 3. What's your answer? Negative 16i equals to negative 2i. Divide I, goes away. Negative 16 equals to negative 2y. Divide negative 2, divide negative 2. Y is 8. Okay? Here, you're adding. Same thing. How do I know I'm adding? It says right here. Add these two people. And when in math, we only add friends. You can never add people who are not friends. Who are the real numbers? 6 plus 4. That gave you 10. Who are the imaginary numbers? I plus negative 5i. This becomes negative. And what is 1? 1i minus 5i gives you positive or negative. It gives you negative 4i. It gives you negative 4i. Put back. So here 10 comes and this one comes. So 10 minus 4i. That's your answer. You can have it in brackets. You can leave it like that. Same thing. Okay? Real, imaginary. 8 minus 6. Read correctly. If you read wrongly, your problem. Lazim, you read correctly. 3i minus negative 2i. This becomes plus. So this is 5i positive. Okay? And this is positive 2. And this is your answer. Remove this line here. Have the line up to there. Okay? Or leave it like that, and then just write your answer closer. 2 plus 5i. You're subtracting real, imaginary. 5 minus 3, 2. Negative 1i minus negative 2i plus, that becomes positive 1i. So your answer is 2 plus I. Because in math, we don't write 1. Okay? In math, we do not write 1. We are adding. How do I know? I saw add. Real, imaginary. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Positive 2i plus negative 3i. This becomes negative. 2 minus 3 is negative 1i. Then write your answer. 2 minus I. Okay? Real, imaginary. 6 plus 4, which is 10. Negative 3i plus negative 2i. This is negative, so that is negative 5i. 10 minus 5i. Okay? Okay, so now we are subtracting. So this real, this is imaginary. Negative 11 minus 1, negative 12. And then positive 4i minus negative 5i is 4i plus 5i, which is 9i, and it is positive. So our answer is negative 12 plus 9i. Okay, I am darbing. I remember kanun. I squared is equal to negative 1. The minute I see darbing, this is the kanun that should come to my brain. Then I should do out in either FOIL or distributive property. It's up to you. You make that decision. I'm doing distributive property. 3 minus I plus I, 3 minus I. 2 times 3, 6. 2 times negative I, negative 2I. I times 3, positive 3I. I times negative I, negative I squared. This changes to negative 1. This changes to just I. And this does not change, it comes down. So this I must have an ishara, it is positive. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. These are friends. So 5 plus I. Hey, I don't know how to add. Wait. There is this Okay, yes. Positive I times negative I is negative I squared. Okay, I need to explain this better. This part is still negative 1 because we say that. You see that? I squared is negative 1. So this will be negative 1. So negative 1 minus negative 1 becomes positive 1. And 6 plus 1 becomes 7. Yes, so you have to be very careful about that. Okay? Again, I squared is negative 1. And then you still have to multiply negative 1 with negative 1. That's how you got positive 1. Okay? All right. So I squared equals to negative 1. Do distributive property. So this is out. This is in. So 5 multiply 4 minus I, negative 2I multiply 4 minus I. So 20 minus 5I, 20 minus 5I, minus 8I, or negative 8I, minus or plus, y plus, a negative times a negative is a negative. Sorry, a negative times a negative is a positive. And then 2 times 1 is 2, and then I times I is I squared. Now, this will change to negative 1. And this will now change to negative 2. This will change to negative 13I, and 20 will come down. Now, 20 minus 2 is 18, and this is 13I. Okay? So you have to be careful, especially over here. This is where we make most mistakes. Be careful when you're doing this part, okay? I squared equals to 1. Out, in. For 1 minus 2I, negative 2I, 1 minus 2I. 4 minus 8i minus 2i plus 4i squared changes to become -1, changes to become -4, changes to become -10i, does not change. So your answer is just -10i. 4 and -4 are inverses. When you add them, they become 0. Okay? In this question, they're saying using the formula, so you're multiplying. V equals to C, which is the current. The voltage equals to the current times the impedance. Okay? Your voltage is 3 minus J, and you're going to multiply with the impedance, which is 3 plus 2J. You're going to treat your J as your imaginary number. Okay? So this is out, this is in. So this is 3 plus 2J. And then you're going to do here -J, 3 plus 2J. When you do your distributive property, that's 9 plus 6J, -3J, -2J squared. This changes to -1. This changes to +2. This changes to 3J positive. And that is 9. Okay? And these are friends, so 11 plus 3J. Okay? All right. When you're taqsiming, the kanun changes. Okay? Because you have to use the conjugate and you have to rationalize the denominator. And how you're going to use the conjugate to rationalize the denominator? You're going to multiply the fraction, that means the numerator and the denominator, by the conjugate. So your denominator is 3 plus 1. I mean 3 plus I. The conjugate is 3 minus I. Okay? So multiply here with 3 minus I, and here 3 minus I. So when you're doing this, you're rationalizing the denominator, meaning there should not be I in the denominator. Then you're going to divide your workspace into 2. So here you're going to do the numerator, and here you're going to do the denominator. So 5 times 3 minus I becomes 15 minus 5I. Okay? And then here, if your answer is not a whole number, you did something. I mean, if your answer is not a number, you did something wrong. It can be a fraction, a decimal, all this. But if it is not, actually, it should only be a whole number. Should not even be a fraction or decimal. Should be a whole number. So if it is not, you did something wrong. So 3 minus I times 3 plus I. So you do your out and your in. You do 3 plus I. You do -I, 3 plus I. So this should be 9 plus 3I minus 3I. That becomes 0. And then this should be -I squared. So this will change to be -1 times -1, which is +1. So 9 plus 1. How do I know? Because this -1 is for here. And this -1 is for I squared. So my answer here is 10. Okay? So then you write your answer. So you'll have 15 over 10. Remember, it is real and then imaginary. And then you'll have -5I over 10. When you simplify this, this should give you 3 over 2, and this should give you half. And then you put I like that. Okay? Also, this can also be your answer. Okay? So both of them can be your answer. Either one of them. But the best one is the first one. But they are all the same. Okay. The conjugate for 2i is negative 2i. Okay, so you're going to do your numerator. I'm going to do your denominator over here. Bracket 7 minus 13i, and you're deriving with negative 2i. So negative 14i plus 26i squared. 26i squared. Okay? So this becomes negative 1. So 26 times negative 1 is negative 26. And then you bring your imaginary number down. Okay? So 2i times negative 2i becomes negative 4i squared. This becomes negative 1. So what is negative 4 times negative 1? Positive 4. Okay? Then now write your answer, the real part and the imaginary part. The real part will be negative 26 over 4. The imaginary part will be positive 14i over 4. When you simplify this, you should get negative 13 over 2 plus 7 over 2i. Okay? And you can box it here, or it can also be written as negative 13 plus 7i over 2. Okay? Okay. So you're going to have here, you're going to multiply with the conjugate, which is negative 3i, negative 3i. So you're going to do your numerator here. You're going to do your denominator here. So this will be negative 2i, 7 minus 13i, which will be negative 14i plus 26i squared. But this part becomes negative 1. So this becomes negative 26 and 14i. So then here you're going to have where am I getting my numbers from? This is 3i. And this is 6. And this is 5i. Sorry about that. So this will be negative 18i plus 15i squared. This becomes negative 1, so this becomes negative 15. And this is negative 18i. And then 3i times negative 3i is 9i squared, but negative. Because 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and I times I is I squared. This becomes negative 1, negative 9 times that. And that becomes positive 9. Okay? So I write my fraction, my real, and my imaginary. 9 down, negative 15. 9 down, negative 18i. Simplify. Who is the common factor? 3. 3 goes here 5 times, and 3 goes into the denominator 3 times. Here, 3 goes in the numerator 6 times, and 3 goes into the denominator 3 times. Oh, we can still simplify. Oh, greatest common factor is 9. 9 goes here 2 times. So here you should just have negative 2i. So then you write your answer. That's your answer. But they're far away. Bring them close together. So negative 5 over 3 minus 2i. Okay? I'll continue from here later.